Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
To say, what did the bus driver do wrong? And in this case, the driver did nothing. It was an intersection where they were hit by another vehicle.
No injuries, but it was a scary situation for drivers and passengers in West Fargo. 7 vehicles, including a school bus, were involved after a driver ran a red light. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. A bus was turning left when a car ran a red light, causing the bus to crash into other vehicles. According to West Fargo police, the bus was carrying about 10 children in grades kindergarten through 5th. The driver that ran the light was cited. Although the bus driver was not at fault, he was sent home for the rest of the day. The bus driver is with Valley Bus Company, and the general manager tells us that it's not just intersections where they find impatient drivers.
Kids are about 6 times more likely to be hurt outside of a bus around a stop or an intersection than they are on the bus. Buses are built very strong and can withstand considerable damage before there's any risk to the people inside. They're built like tanks.
McLaughlin says their bus drivers see many people try to pass them when they're dropping off students. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop spoke with drivers and police about the dangers of running red lights.
I think they think, let's speed up and get through this before it gets red.
You just keep going because I feel uncomfortable stopping in the middle of the road, I guess.
It's something many people do, running a yellow or even red light. But police say many people don't realize the dangerous situation they're putting themselves along with others in.
No, I have seen somebody run a red light. We had to call it in because they almost hit 2 cars going through the red light.
Fargo Police Deputy Chief Joe Anderson says there is more danger when drivers speed up to go through yellow or even red lights. He says with the faster speeds means it can cause more damage.
I have not seen an actual accident, but I don't think they realize how dangerous it could be.
Anderson says most traffic signals are set up for a delay, but it's roughly only 2 seconds. In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
North Dakota does not have a penalty for going through yellow lights, but there is a $20 fine for going through red. Pretty gloomy out there today, and it looks like some parts of the valley will see some thunderstorms later on. Let's head over to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for the latest. Hutch?
Gusty winds, clouds, and cool temperatures as we head through our Tuesday night. Rain is pushing up from the south. Now, the southern Red River Valley seeing some of the heaviest. No thunder and lightning in North Dakota, but down in southern South Dakota, there are a few strikes. This is all moving to the north-northeast, so it will be wet for some time the next few hours in the southern valley, pushing it to western Minnesota. Right now, Richland County inundated with bands of heavy rain from Breckenridge through the Lidgerwood area and out towards Wheaton as well. Looking into the Fargo-Moorhead area, just moving into West Fargo is a heavy shower of rain. You can expect that to be pushing northward through the area over the next half hour or so. A wet night here, a white night in parts of Montana where there are winter storm warnings and advisories. Oh, and some flooding going on as well. Temperatures in the 60s, gusty south winds, and a high likelihood of some soggy showers throughout the evening. Have your umbrella handy. We'll talk about that cool forecast as we close out our work week. There could be some of that snow in Montana making its way towards us. I'll have the latest.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
And South Carolina's governor has issued evacuations for the coastal areas of the state ahead of Hurricane Matthew's potential landfall later this week. Some people have already started preparing for the now Category 4 hurricane, boarding up windows and gathering supplies. The storm is expected to weaken to a Category 2 or 3 hurricane over the next several days, but could still cause storm surges and bring winds of over 100 miles per hour to the state. The Dominican Republic government announced just a little bit ago that 4 people have died so far as a result of Hurricane Matthew. Fargo police were notified today about a clown sighting in Fargo, but the department says they have identified the person and there's nothing to worry about. Officer Jessica Schindeldecker says the driver, who was dressed as a clown, actually works as a clown and was driving to and from events. So-called creepy clown sightings have happened nationally in the past 2 months, causing police departments and even Homeland Security to get involved, with threats against schools forcing some closures. Do you recognize this man? If you do, give the Grand Forks Police Department a call. He's a suspect in an assault investigation that happened Sunday night in Grand Forks. You can reach the police department at 787-8000. A man is facing multiple charges after police say he stole 13 high-end bicycles valued between $20,000 and $30,000 in downtown Fargo. Matthew McCroskey has been charged with 4 felonies: possession of stolen property, 2 counts of burglary, and possession of meth. He's also charged with possession of marijuana, a misdemeanor, and for violating parole. McCroskey is also accused of stealing electronics and other items. 27-year-old Joshua Miller of Hastings, Minnesota, is in the Grand Forks jail after he allegedly tried to break into a home and 2 cars in Grand Forks last night. Grand Forks police responded to 2 calls near the 500 block of South 4th Street for a suspicious person. After a short chase, police arrested Miller on the 400 block of Franklin Avenue. Miller is facing 2 felony charges for unlawful entry into a motor vehicle, another felony count of attempted criminal trespass, and a criminal mischief charge. A Crookston man is in jail for the alleged brutal assault of his girlfriend who wanted him out of her apartment. 53-year-old Terry Klevgard has been charged with felony counts of domestic assault by strangulation and threats of violence. Court documents say Klevgard had been drinking for 4 days in a row when he choked the victim so hard blood was flowing from her nose. Klevgard has a criminal history that includes convictions for burglary, terrorizing, aggravated assault, and disorderly conduct. Tonight is the one and only face-off between the vice presidential candidates. Mike Pence and Tim Kaine will debate for an hour and a half in Virginia. Neither candidates are well known. Mike Pence, the Indiana governor, Kaine, a Virginia senator. Mike Pence, who visited the debate site this afternoon, might have the tougher job explaining Trump insulting women, suggesting vets with PTSD are not strong, and apparently not paying federal income tax for years, and bragging about it. In new polls, Clinton leads Trump in 5 big battleground states. But Kaine, who also took a look at the debate site, has to explain Clinton's emails and Clinton Foundation fundraising. The debate starts tonight at 8 o'clock on NBC. Tune in to Valley News Live and at 9 and 10 for the latest. Are millennials uninterested in public service? That's a question lawmakers are pondering in Washington. Statistics show younger generations are scared off by federal government jobs. Our Washington bureau's Peter Zampa discussed the issue with folks in Washington trying to change the trend.
Bring back this sense of civic idealism.
Millennials shying away from public service. At least that appears to be the trend, according to Stephen Olakara, a millennial and founding president of the Millennial Action Project. The organization's goal to bring American politics into a more inclusive and bipartisan age by using the talents of younger generations.
There's this larger narrative that we have to combat, which is that you can't make a difference in public service. But the levels of distrust continue to be at high levels. Something like 80% of millennials don't trust the federal government to do the right thing.
Olakara says recruitment and compensation are 2 huge issues when it comes to incentivizing young people.
We need to be rewarding talent and rewarding results.
Lawmakers who are not millennials are aware that this is a serious issue. So Oklahoma Senator James Lankford and North Dakota Senator Heidi Heitkamp held a hearing to examine just that.
And we think some of the best missions in the country are in public service. We just need to figure out how we're going to communicate that to millennials.
Heitkamp says 31% of the federal government is eligible for retirement in 2019. She and Lankford agree a new wave has to come in, and soon. Lankford says with long hiring processes, nothing is fast these days.
Now almost 100 days to be able to hire one federal employee. That's a major problem. Most people aren't going to sit around and wait. If they apply for a job, even if they want to be able to serve their fellow citizen.
Hopefully we can spark some larger public debate and conversation around how we can encourage and incentivize.
Reporting in Washington, Peter Zampa, Valley News Live.
Frustration, not getting paid, confusion over where to send veterans for care. The hope is these issues and others will be alleviated with a new VA program. Senator John Hoeven unveiled the Veterans Care Coordination Initiative, a program that will bypass entities like HealthNet and instead put veterans in direct contact with the Fargo VA. HealthNet will still be on hand to pay claims and maintain a provider network, But we have brought you the frustrations of a local healthcare office back in March. The employees were spending endless hours on the phone, correcting appointments and patient information, and it took months before claims were paid.
We need to make sure they're getting that access to quality health care. And the idea behind the Veterans Choice Act was to make sure that that happened. It has not been happening because of the bureaucracy and bureaucratic delays. This cuts through that.
The Fargo VA says 32,500 vets are cared for through their facilities and programs. Some of you contacted Valley News Live and our whistleblower hotline upset over the aerial spraying of mosquitoes, saying not enough notice was given last week. Cass County Vector Control sprayed on Thursday and Saturday, and they say they gave 24 hours notice. Supervisor Carter Woodley says aerial spraying cannot be planned weeks in advance because of all the factors involved. He adds they notify people through Facebook, Twitter, email, and even text alerts. You can sign up for the alerts at the Cass County Vector Control website or just click on this story at valleynewslive.com. Today was a blustery fall day, a chilly day in more ways than one. In fact, chili, the dish, took center stage at Roars and Keller Williams Realty today. This event, in its 7th year, has become a signature chili event in our communities, particularly for chili lovers. And what a feast. 50 different varieties for the sampling and judging as well. It's a competition as well as a place to dine.
We have anything from pheasant chili to, I saw a drunk deer chili. I mean, there's a little bit of everything. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of buzz and energy around this event. When you get 900 people through in a matter of 2.5 hours, it's just wild how it feels in here.
Today's chili feed wasn't just a chili feed, it was a major fundraiser for the United Way. Patients are being warned that a certain insulin pump can be hacked. Find out if you've got it. Still ahead tonight.
And we have soggy showers moving in from the south. It looks like a wet evening ahead as temperatures are expected to fall through the remainder of our week. Details in your hour-by-hour forecast and an update on Hurricane Matthew right after this.